Welcome back to another episode of Key Factors Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are sponsored by ReviewMyMortgage.com, the largest index of mortgage programs in the nation. And I wanted to take a break from the usual informative, yet insightful discussions that we've had lately and add some humor. We're going to sprinkle a little humor on this episode with two of the most humorous mortgage professionals that I know in our local area. So without further ado, I want to introduce my guests. I have Eric Delgado first. What up? And then I also have Matt Mazzacco. Matt, how are you, brother?
I'm doing well. It's
Wonderful.
Mazzacco.
Mazzacco.
Matt
Mazzacco. There we go. So at this time, I want to give you guys a moment to just kind of tell our audience who you are, how long you've been in the industry, what you specialize, all that jazz. Who wants to go first?
Go for it.
So I've been doing mortgages for, 13 years now. Came from the health and fitness industry and just accidentally jumped into mortgages and found my way to it. And I've been doing it for 13 years now. I am on the broker side, like we were talking about earlier. I've been doing that for about 4 years now, and I've really enjoyed the transition over to this side of the world. So
Absolutely.
It's been a lot of fun. Lifelong San Antonio residents for 40 years. So.
And what company are you with right now?
Easy Home Loans.
Easy Home Loans. Yep. Okay, good deal. Eric, what up, dude?
Good to see you.
Who the hell are you, brother?
The last time I was across a table from you took all my money in poker. So
dang,
I'm a little nervous.
You got to bring up memories.
Yeah, it still hurts. Still hurts.
Those wounds are still open.
Yep. But yeah, I'm Eric Delgado. I've been in the industry for about 7 years now, and I started in healthcare, and before the mortgage industry, I was in roofing, of all things. I didn't actually do the roofing work. I'm afraid of heights. So my buddy, our friend, actually, Benito Solis.
Yeah.
He was the one who said, hey, I was at Chase at the time. He's like, I think you'd be pretty good at this, blah, blah, blah. Or he was at Chase at the time. And that's how I got in. And now I'm at Guardian Mortgage. I took a little 2-month hiatus. So I'm back and I'm excited.
I love it. And it's good to have you back, man, because we missed some of your content, to be honest.
I was just building it all up again.
There you go.
I needed a refill.
What is that? Blue balls for content creation?
That's exactly what it is.
Well, guys, I can tell you first off, there are not going to be any censors in this episode. We're going to uncover and talk about some tricks. We're going to talk about some things that you may be able to implement in your business. But the first kind of topic that I want to get into is the content and using social media to generate business for yourselves. I know both of you have been doing that for many years, just like myself. And it's something that I don't think gets discussed as often as it should, or at least brought to life as often as it should. So in using content, how have you seen it benefit your business? This question is for both of you, actually.
I mean, social media has opened up so many pathways to lead generation, connecting with individuals that you don't have proximity with, and really just kind of gives you a vast network of people to try to reach. And knowing me for long enough, you know, for me, humor is my angle, and it's just a natural part of my personality. I've always found that what we do is very heavy.
Yes.
You know, we deal with real, serious, deep into their lives type topics, and especially when things get challenging, it's a big responsibility, and there's really nothing sexy about mortgages.
I agree.
We don't have the appeal of the
except
home.
For us.
Well, we make up for our lack of sexy.
Yeah.
But there's really, you know, you have to, at the end of the day, we're the quintessential end and beginning of the transaction because we're the ones financing it on the finance deals. And so we're a necessary element, but they're not excited to talk to us. They're not excited to get their credit pulled. They're not excited to have me snapping my glove. I got big old hands.
Right.
You know, when I snap it, they kind of
pucker up.
And so I've found that you can't be too funny with them because then they'll start to think you're not taking the transaction and the process seriously. But when things start to get a little difficult, that well-timed joke can really be the difference between somebody being on the ledge when you're done with your conversation, whatever it may be, and them like, okay.
Yeah, dropping that guard.
Okay, now I'm, you know, because it's a human element. And a lot of people I've had tell me they were intimidated to meet with a mortgage loan officer because they felt like they needed to be dressed up. They
Right.
felt like, oh God, this person's going to really be picking me apart. Like I need to impress them.
Right.
And when you bring that kind of humor and just that human element into it, they feel a lot more comfortable. And I've found that it personally leads to better interactions, which leads to lead gen eventually.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Eric,
No,
you got
agree
anything
with
to
that.
add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like you said, it opened up a lot of avenues. It was, humor wise, like I remember like posting stuff and like informative, and then I started doing a little comedy, and I got a lot of engagement out of that. And then I was a lot of the times the stuff I would post, I was like, I think this is funny. I'm not getting enough engagement. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm not that funny. Maybe it's just my mom that thinks I am. So I was like, and then I figured out real quick, I needed to find my demographic, which were real estate agents. And
Right.
like my friends started unfollowing me my personal page because like we're not in real estate. We don't know what you're talking about. So,
Right. Right.
but yeah, it opened up a lot of things, and just like you said, about being taken too seriously or whatnot. That's what I kind of had to learn the hard way. I was like, I was like a little too comedic. So, but it's one of those things. Like once you get your foot in the door, if you can, with a referral source, I learned real quick that if you could be the funniest loan officer, or you think you could be the funniest loan, but you have to close the loan in time, or you're not that funny anymore.
I have to agree with that. And it's almost so. I pulled up a stat before you guys got here, and it was showing which is more stressful in life events, so to speak. And divorce, obviously, number one at 57%, buying a home at 43%, and then it drops down to 34% buying a car. And for some odd reason, buying a home. Oh, okay. So buying a home versus buying a car.
Oh, I see.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes more sense now. So going through a divorce is just a tiny bit more stressful than buying a home, but buying a home is way more stressful than buying a car. These things we would think are obvious. And we would also think that more loan officers should pick up on this and not be so stuffy within their presentation. And what I mean by presentation is when you are meeting with your customer, hopefully all of you out there are actually meeting with your customers still, whether it be in person or Zoom. It's not only just an icebreaker, but also shows your personality, that you're a human being,
Right.
That you can be humorous, especially in the largest purchase of their life.
Right.
And Matt, as you were saying, it helps them bring their guard down. So we're talking about two separate things here, which is one is the content creation on social media, things of that nature. And then we're also talking about the humor that you bring to the interaction with the customers. I can even go third leg, the humor that you bring to your office and your peers. Because I don't know any underwriter in the world thus far that doesn't like a good laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. They're human too. They're not robots.
Absolutely. And from what I've seen lately, let's call it the past, let's say 5 years, humor has been attacked quite a bit. I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like it's making a comeback. I feel like the bigger comedians are saying to hell with what everybody else thinks. If you don't like it, don't watch. The same concept as what you guys are doing on social media. If you don't like it, tune out. You're not the kind of people that I want to do business with, because no, I'm not 100% a joke, but I am going to bring humor to the equation just about every time.
We're going to have fun whether you like it or not.
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And just on that note, like people have attacked me, calling me like a troll, and whatnot. And they're like, this dude is just trying to get attention. I was like, and you just gave it.
You damn right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Don't forget to like it on the way out.
That's right. And it goes back to the concept of when I had all those truck wraps and stuff like that. People would ask me all the time, does this work? And my response every time was, you just asked me about it. I mean, if you asked me about it, we're now on that talking point that allows me to explain, et cetera, et cetera. But at least we're talking about me now, not some BS over here. And I think that's what it helps you guys both do in social media, in showing that additional side. Do you know how to do loans? Absolutely. But not only do I know how to do loans, I can make you laugh in the most stressfulest process that you're ever going to go through, right? So that being the case, how have you seen social media in particular help your business?
For me personally, it was just that audience. I mean, as opposed to like, nothing against an open house or door knocking or anything like that. Still do that. Do whatever you can. But when you have a platform where you could reach 500, 1,000, 5,000 people, I mean, you use that to your advantage. And it's crazy to me, like how people don't do it.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, even real estate agents, they're like, nah, I got to do it more. I know I'm kind of slacking. I'm like how? Like you literally have this massive audience right in front of you. But I mean, I just realized quickly that I had to utilize that.
Right. And now, I guess, question, that being said, because I firmly believe that we as salespeople, have to have multiple spigots. At any given time, that spigot's going to flow out. So social media is one of the spigots. You mentioned open houses. I myself still do open houses, just did one this past weekend. Matt, you and I were talking, you still do open houses. Yep. What additional things do you do to parlay with your social media so that it's not just this facade of who you can be? Either one.
For
I gotta
me,
think about that.
Yeah, no, me too. But just constantly, anybody that I meet and letting them know what I do, getting someone's phone number like randomly at HEB or at a bar. Maybe I've been a couple of those, but I mean, one of my buddies, Terry G, he's actually one of the best at that. Like every time he wears his little name tag everywhere. I'm talking to weddings, events. Yeah. Like he just wears it. And he never hesitates to tell him who he is. Yeah. Like he's an agent. Like it's nonstop. And I think one time he was buying he bought those magnets for his car. Sure. And his boys were stealing them and putting them in their car and driving around. And he said he was a little mad at first, and he was like, "Wait a second, this is like free marketing." He bought more.
Yes.
So yeah.
And then they're going to start charging him. Yeah. But newsflash, we can't pay referrals, guys. We just can't pay referrals. So that being the case, I want to leave the listeners with a couple of tidbits of advice when it comes to that, because I've given presentations. I have had one-on-ones with realtors, and it's always the same. And I think you mentioned it. It's like, I need to do that. Yeah, I need to do that. Fast forward, I still need to do that. What is holding them back? What do you think that is holding them back? Matt, what do you think?
I think it's probably, for the individual, it's a number of different reasons, but I think insecurity and fear of exposure. Sure. We're all human beings. Even though I make this stuff look perfect, I make mistakes. You know, I have flaws, I have things, and I think we really know the most about our flaws. Like I can tell you what's wrong with me, sure, for the most part. And I've got my wife for the rest of that. Yeah, but just kidding, sweetheart. No, but we don't, on social media in particular. It's such a platform of illusion, I guess you could call it, because we're not going to highlight everything. I'm not going to tell you about every loss that I had. I'm not going to tell you about my insecurities. I'm not going to tell you about the things that keep me up at night necessarily. And so nobody wants to put themselves out there in a vulnerable way where it's like, oh, there might be someone out there that's going to say something negative about me, or I may stutter too much, or I may say too much, or there's a lot of, because I used to do a YouTube channel, and getting comfortable in front of the camera was really tough. Like and this was before I was putting it out there or anything. Sure. I was just doing it for myself. And man, you're sitting there looking at yourself, talking to yourself. You start to dissect how I don't like how my hair is puffed out to the side, and my mole on my face. Like, should I look to the left? You just all these little stupid things that you're thinking about. Right. When the reality is the end user doesn't give two shits about those things. Correct. They're not looking at your little imperfections. They're not looking at what you're wearing. That unless you have something like really like standing out. And it's intended to be. But then at that point, you're accentuating something. Yeah. I want you to look right here. Correct. And so they're just not comfortable. And I think that they're not comfortable with themselves in a lot of ways, because they feel like they can't perform well. I'm not an actor. I'm not a thespian. I'm not meant for the stage.
Right.
And so, and maybe some of them aren't, maybe some people just don't have that personality, and perhaps a different avenue would be a more successful way to market themselves. But like what you said, I can't think of a better way to get in front of a large group of people with minimal effort.
Yeah.
And I learned years into the business before I figured out that I can't force my way into success, and I can't force people to buy. And all the things that I used to be able to do in a previous world where I sold, Mark, I'd like to talk to you about this bottle of water and how it can help hydrate your body and all of the benefits to you buying this from me. That doesn't exist with what we do.
Man, you're right.
We are in a relationship business. That is what we are selling is, Mark, I want to be your friend. I want to be your colleague. I want to be somebody that's a trusted referral partner. And you can't force that.
No, I think that's great advice. Matter of fact, to your point about the vulnerability, I think that most incredible comedians use that. They make fun of themselves. They feel comfortable enough to be able to crack jokes about their looks, their way they talk, how fat they are, whatever the case, and it works. Why? Because it shows more so that they're human.
Well, and you can't make fun of me for being fat after I just got done cracking some fire joke about me being fat. Like, what power do you have now? You can't use that against me now. I've taken ownership for this, whatever you want to call that, insecurity or whatever it is. As we'll discuss more, you take power by owning it and being real and transparent with people. And
I agree.
Just like you said, you have to be able to make fun of yourself. You have to.
Yeah.
And I learned that pretty quick. I mean, my nickname in grade school and high school was Head. Because
where's this going?
I wear a size 8. Not many people wear a size 8. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, so you have a big head.
Yes, there you go.
I see.
And I just started to go along with it. I was like, all right, fine. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Let's go. But it's one of those things too, in regards to what you were talking about, like how people are a little hesitant.
Yeah.
I mean, it all has to do, obviously, their personality and whatnot, but you just got to start somewhere. Like you got to just make your first joke, your first reel. They're not, it's going to take a while. Like I can only imagine how you were your first podcast.
Yeah.
And now here you are. I think you're amazing. I think you got it locked down.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, you just got to get it out there. Just start.
And you know what, to your point, I don't think there's anybody that goes back to my first podcast to critique me on anything. Matter of fact, it's poof gone. It's experience that I get to have, and I don't care who saw it because I got to go through the motions of acquiring all the skills and screw ups that I went through to get to this point. Same as you guys, and creating your content. You shoot a meme out there, it doesn't hit. Oh, well, let's shoot another one. You know what? Maybe firing. This one will.
Yeah. You just got to say, screw it. That's it. Just get out there and just keep trying. Regardless, even if it does suck or it's terrible, you're still getting your name out there.
That's true. That's
still
true.
Getting your name out there.
And there's a lot of folks that don't want to do any kind of content, but they more than likely can break that ice with something funny, and then it'll allow them to get comfortable to give actual content like advice, statistics, data, things of that nature, to then be foreseen as the expert. But somebody gave advice once, I don't remember who it was, but they said, just hit record. Just hit record, man. And it took me back because, like you were saying earlier, when I started podcasting, it was just by myself.
Yep.
And I tell you, you are not lying when you say it's hard to just sit in front of a camera and talk. Having guests is so much easier. Matter of fact, I don't even like doing it just me one-on-one unless I have to, unless there's some good content that I need to get out there. But hats off to anybody that can do that and is attempting to do it. The goal, just keep going. That being the case, I want to talk about consistency. I believe that consistency is one of the things that we as humans are shitty at. We are just horrible at being consistent with anything.
Relationships. We're talking about mortgage. Got it. Yeah.
So that being the case, what allows you or what enables you guys to be consistent with your content? I mean, I see at least 2 posts a day from you. One may be funny, one may not be, one may be intended to be funny, but it wasn't, etc. But at least you're still going. What allows you to be consistent?
Well, for me, I don't know. It's kind of weird to explain this without sounding like cocky or whatever.
Do it.
There's
a reason why you're on this show, brother, and it's so true. I mean, I only have experts here.
Awesome.
Well, I do it is because I feel like the world needs me. And
yes, you are the meme hero we needed.
They're going through a hard day.
Yeah.
Like I've had people DM me like, I had the worst day, but I saw that shit and I was just cracking up.
Yeah.
And that actually made me feel great. Like I was like, you know what? I was kind of having a bad day too. Now we're good.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I stay consistent. I'm like, so if I don't do it, like I've taken a break for like a week or two. I know that's not long for anybody, but
it's a long time in social media.
Social media, yeah, if you're consistent.
Is Eric dead?
Yeah, exactly. I start getting questions, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what kind of drives me. Like I just feel like I've got to entertain the people.
Yeah. Same.
Well, and I think a lot of it is for me. I enjoy doing it. I was thinking about the topic of, earlier today when I was in the shower, and I was just like,
you were thinking of me in the shower.
I was thinking about you in the shower, Mark. I was, but I was thinking about humor and how it's enveloped in such a huge way in the psychology of sales and why people make decisions and why they move in the directions that they move, and how humor can really kind of shift all of that.
Sure.
And, for me, I enjoy the challenge of taking something that's not funny and finding something funny about
Absolutely.
it. Because it's like a mental workout. You're mentally lifting your wit weight.
Mental gymnastics. Yes.
So to be able to find some humor in something is, in my opinion, like it's an intellectual practice.
It is.
And so it's fun. And there's even studies that have been done that show that people that are highly sarcastic, swear often, and are real quick-witted and quick on the draw to come at you with fire, are just highly intelligent individuals that have a high emotional quotient and a high intelligence level.
Now
you can
IQ
as well.
You can be quick-witted or you can be quick-witted.
Yeah, that's right. I hope my brother
quick-witted with your quick wit.
You got to be quick-witted.
I hope my brother heard all of that.
There you go.
I like it. Did you hear that, brother? You heard that.
That's how it happens.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I don't believe that most see often is what happens beyond the surface level. And Eric, you mentioned it a moment ago, is the DMs that you receive. And I myself received that kind of love, support, whatever you want to call it, motivation, when they don't put it in the comments, they'll message you directly. Yeah. And for me, that's more impactful than in the comments, because it's intended to be heard.
They want to discuss it with you individually and not broadcast it. It's like, it's important to me that you know this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And thus starts a relationship.
Yep.
There you go. And I think that that concept of this being a relationship business starts with personality, because you're not going to have a relationship with somebody that you can't mesh well with. I mean, it's just, if you do, you're kind of going against the grain and you're fake, to be honest.
Well, and that relationship will ultimately fall apart throughout time, because if your personalities don't mesh up well, if you're a 4 a.m.er and your partner is a 10 a.m.er, you guys may both be fantastic at what you do, but it's not going to work out scheduling wise, because the 4 a.m.er is going to hate you, because by the time you're waking up, they're already done with their day.
Right.
And they're ready to go to the fun side of their day, and you're just getting out of bed, getting started.
Yeah.
So, and not to knock either one of those.
Sure.
Personally, myself, I'm not a 4 a.m.er. I will never be in the 4 a.m. club. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I'll stay up till 4 a.m. sometimes.
Same. Yes.
But,
Same.
I'm only waking up to go fishing or hunting if I'm going to be up at 4 a.m. Like there's not many things.
And I might sleep in the blind. Who knows?
I'll probably opt to have someone else drive so I can take a little nap on the way there, And
that's true. Like the relationships wise, you kind of want to be compatible.
Yeah.
And you're going to learn that really quick, mortgage wise on your first loan. You're going to figure out what kind of agent you're dealing with.
Yeah.
They're calling nonstop, or they're a little more chill. Yeah. That's the good thing. It's not going to take very long to find out.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I want to bring some serious stuff to the table. In previous discussions, we've talked about the realtor lawsuits. I want to get y'all's opinion on that kind of stuff. I have a topic about the trigger leads that are happening, and we're tired of it. So senators are doing some stuff about it. But first, I would like to get into that concept of realtors being under attack. Do you think that they currently are? If so, how? And should they be?
I absolutely think they're being attacked, and I feel bad for them too, especially the ones that hustle as much as they do, because on our side, I mean, we're obviously commission based,
yes,
and we could do so much work for this loan for a month or 2 months, work it for down the road when they're still looking, just get it all ready to go, and then they decide to go with a builder, or they decide to go with somebody else, and you're just like, wow, I spent all that time and I didn't get anything. So that's it sucks, but you hope they ultimately made the right decision, even if it wasn't with you.
Sure.
But also, like, the agents, like, they don't, these people that are attacking them or whatever, they put a lot of effort into them. They driving around, like, even just as gas and time and marketing material. And, the house, they don't, I believe, because it's so far and few between right now in the market, like, they need that. Like, they need that. I mean, that's their bread and butter. Like, that's, food on the table.
Right.
So I feel like, I feel really bad for them. I do.
Yeah.
Well, I think the general public really doesn't understand what all being a realtor entails. You know, I mean, I think back on me when I was a kid, I think I was like 22 years old, and we were going looking at apartments or not apartments, but houses. And we were looking for rental houses. And this realtor, God bless her heart, man, like, poor thing. Like, we didn't know, we had no clue. We had this lady show us like 25 rental properties. She's driving all over town. And for me, I didn't feel bad about it at all. Because I'm thinking like, oh, that's her job. She gets paid, you know, like, she's getting paid for all of this. And so in my head, I'm thinking like, cool. Like, and I'm starting to notice she's getting a little annoyed by like the third or fourth day. And it's like, and then I found out, and I was like, oh, God. Yeah. Like, I wanted to like send her a freaking gift card or something, like, I'm so sorry, because we ended up not going, like, we didn't use her. My partner at the time found a place, and we ended up buying it. And so it worked itself out, but I didn't know that. And so I still didn't even know that getting into the business, man. Like, to be honest with you, when I got in the business, I didn't even know what title insurance was. Like, I didn't know why we needed it. I knew literally zero about it. And so I have come from a place of not knowing anything to where now this is all like second nature. Like, I've forgotten what I didn't know back then. And so many people just don't realize the actual blood, sweat, and tears that real estate agents put into it, the amount of time. I mean, on our side, it's a little bit different, because we don't have as much of a in-person exposure where we're actually physically leaving our homes or our offices to go and visit a site and to, cart a family of people around with a nephew and an uncle and all the kids in tow and everything. And so they don't realize the amount of sweat equity that real estate agents put into each transaction, and the fact that when those transactions don't close, that sweat equity, that's still capital expense to that real estate agent, regardless of perception. And so I think this whole thing is this lawsuit is a little bit kind of silly, in my opinion, because the sellers agreed to the compensation. Everybody, I have always fully expected to pay a commission when selling my home, because I can't do it on my own. If I could do it on my own, I wouldn't hire a real estate broker. I wouldn't need agents to market my properties. I would just park a sign in my front yard if it was that easy. And I'd just be like, hey, I'll figure out who I'm going to sell my home to, and life is good. And it's so much more than that. But the public they don't know that. And so a big part of what I'm doing in 24 is going to be focusing my marketing efforts, especially social media wise, to small shorts with big educational bites.
I like it.
Just big pieces of. And of course, it's going to be a grab for more time. Obviously, the content that I'm going to be putting out there in short form,
that's what it's intended to do. Absolutely,
it's designed to get you to come and talk to me and ask me more questions. But I want to hit you with this nugget real quick. Boom. Yeah. And if this nugget isn't what's going to do it for you, here's 25 other nuggets.
Correct.
And my goal in that is to help to be a better partner for my real estate agents that I'm working with, and to be a better trusted resource for my sphere of influence and the people that I know personally in my walk, to be able to be like, hey, this is the guy you got to turn to. He's always pumping out good stuff. Like, just come on, you got to go talk to them,
I get it. I didn't know that I had 2 Poindexters on the episode this time. So now let's play some devil's advocate. Do you guys think that the real estate commission structure should be updated? And I'm going to say updated instead of changed, because us as mortgage professionals went through a cleansing already of updating. None of us were in the industry when they were making massive margins on the front and the back, et cetera, et cetera.
Everybody getting approved.
That's right. Yep. We did not go through that. In addition, our industry has seen huge margin compression in the past year, to where it's like, okay, yeah, I can offer you this rate, but I've got to charge you a point and a half to just lock it in. Now we're starting to see things come back and get a little bit normalized, we'll say. But we've already gone through that. We as mortgage lenders don't make 3% on a deal. We don't have the option to do those things. And I refer back to a point that I had made before, which was back when the real estate commissions were enacted or agreed upon, they were hand signing contracts. They were going to hand deliver and negotiate on that property. Nowadays, everything is dot loop, DocuSign, Zoom call. I'm going to FaceTime you as I walk through this house, etc. I feel like technology, in addition to evolution, is changing our industry and how we do business. For our side, yes, it's a little bit more simple to adjust and adapt. Why? Because we sit in an office, we meet with our customers in Zoom, not a big deal, where everything that we need to go over is on a screen.
Right.
Whereas the realtors, they're selling something tangible. That is the sexy part of what we do, right? Kind of like selling cars. Everybody wants to buy a car, but you never want to talk to the finance guy.
Right.
Right. So that being the case, do you think that there should be a cleanse or an adjustment to real estate commissions? And the reason why I ask that is, out of 100 agents, there's probably going to be 20 that are top notch.
Right.
And there's going to be 80% of those, since we're using 100 as the number, that are part-time, that are just going through the motions. And in my opinion, I think they're doing their customers a disservice. So what could help in getting those folks out of our industry? I said it.
Yeah.
Just keep it difficult.
Don't be chicken shit.
Keep it difficult like it is right now for another 6 months, and they'll naturally just go away, because if you're not making money, you're not going to stick it out.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll get weeded out.
I mean, I've been for probably the last 10 years saying I think that there at some point in our careers in the near distant future, we're going to see a purge. And if 2020 and 21 and even parts of 22 taught me anything, it was that we had a lot of folks on all sides of the transaction, mortgage, title, insurance, real estate agents, who I'm cautious to say don't belong, because
you can say it if there are some that don't belong.
But I don't know that that's actually what it is that I'm really truly feeling. I just think that perhaps some of these folks needed more help, guidance, assistance, and resources than what was available to them, and because of that, they were doing things that just probably weren't for the benefit of their clients.
Right.
And even if it wasn't their intention, and so
I agree.
And then I'll just say,
we go through
there's some
our
people
learning.
that just don't belong, because some folks just aren't cut to make what they need to do happen in this business. And it requires a very unique personality type to be able to fully facilitate what you need to do in these transactions to keep all parties from jumping off a cliff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's well put. John Hudson, shout out, had posted something yesterday, December 18th, and it had to do with our side of the tracks. And it is basically, matter of fact, I can throw it up on the screen, but I'd rather just tell you. So from 2023 to 2024, there were 60, and I think this has to do with just Texas, if I'm not mistaken. If I am wrong, oh well, these are real stats. 66,000 loan officers in 2023. The renewable licenses is now at 55,000. So there's already 11,000 that they cannot renew at this point. Then out of those, we've got 31,000 that have completed their renewals by December 18th, and there are 36,000 of the total 55,000 that have not completed their renewals.
Wow.
Is that not a lot?
Yeah.
That's a daunting number. I don't have the statistics on the real estate side. And I would think that it would take a little bit longer for that cleanse to happen, because when you close one deal, that's like a month's worth of salary. So to speak.
And even in a bad market, you can still pick up a listing. And,
Sure.
There's more opportunity on the real estate side because you can represent a sell or a buy. And
Right.
I think they have a little bit of a benefit there in some ways, but listing doesn't do you any good until it closes.
Till it
So, I mean,
sells. That's exactly correct.
And I also think like a lot has to do with that person's situation, that real estate agent situation.
Mhm.
Like, do they have a spouse with a high salary that
Yeah, touche.
maybe they're not so worried about you getting a sale here or there. But that's why you feel bad for those like single parents that are hustling as much as they do, and going back and forth to showings and their kids to recitals and stuff.
Right.
And if they don't get the sale, that you know what I mean, that's a big deal. That means, I mean, they maybe they've been trying for so hard for 2 or 3 months, and that people are like, wow, you make so much at 3% out of the 6 or whatever. It's like, wow, and it's also like on another note, a lot of people like what they don't talk about is how some real estate agents give people the idea, social media wise, with their obviously their cars and with their their meals and everything. So these people are seeing this project, are like, wow, they're making too much money. Where it's that's not.
And you don't realize that guy's probably broke.
Yeah,
Very broke right now.
I was like, let me see that belt. Let me see.
Well, I mean, I think it goes to the concept of fake it till you make it. But once you've done that, I don't think you can go backwards to fake it again. I think you just need to be honest and transparent with people. And honesty will lead to more success because people love honesty. They respect honesty, in my opinion. Even if it's bad news, whatever the case may be. But you said it, and I think that is why this lawsuit, all of these things that are coming out against realtors, mortgage professionals included, is because for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, who knows, 10 years, we've been flaunting what we've gained by helping customers. And I guess it goes hand in hand with this discussion. You guys don't do that. No. You don't do that at all.
I actually make fun of myself for what I eat.
Yes.
I think I just posted right now, like, rates better drop because I'm getting tired of eating these gas station hot dogs. I mean, I like to make fun of myself.
Gasoline
these
dogs.
rates better come down because I don't have the ankles for the streets,
I love it. Yes. Yep. I mean, was that you on the corner of I-10?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I freaking knew it. I knew it. So leading back to what we were discussing before, given that all of this stuff under attack, realtors, all this jazz, wouldn't you think it being advantageous for realtors to take that and use it and find some humor in it to create content around it?
Oh yeah.
We don't see it. It's all doom and gloom right now.
Well, and that is a big thing that every single, like, if you are a real estate agent and we're going to talk about this at some point in time. Right. Our role in this transaction is like a parental role in a lot of ways. The realtor and the loan officer.
Minus the spankings, y'all.
Yes. Well, it just depends on the relationships. You never know. But, the realtor and the loan officer being the parents in the transaction, with the title company, insurance, and all the other third parties being like cousins, you know. But the buyer is our child. And so many times people don't realize that, how you handle your child is going to dictate how that child grows up, how they become, and what happens. And so
how they view the world in general. Yeah.
And that's why I think that relationship between the real estate agent and the loan officer is one of those really special relationships, because we are ultimately in charge of our children's well-being. And as such, I'm sure you and your wife don't sit down and scare your children with all the fears and concerns that you have, with all the things of the world that you know about that they don't. And so,
but I will tell you, we don't censor our children too much at all.
No. You want to be transparent.
Absolutely. But I was raised that way, so it was just one of those things that Kristen, do you agree? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
To a certain extent.
If you're, if there's something that's troubling going on a file, but you think there's a resolution to it, and you maybe don't need to bring it to the public forefront right away.
Right.
You talk about it with your partners and you say, hey, here's the parental challenge that we're facing right now. Here's the potential outcomes, and here's what I think is the right course of action. Sometimes your children don't need to hear about those conversations in regards to how you're making those decisions, but also the same as how we have that responsibility to protect our children, we also have the ability to inform and educate our clients and explain to them that, like, I'm not trying to BS you. Like right now, buying a house today is not as awesome as it would have been 3 years ago.
Right.
You missed the boat on that one.
Yep.
Shit's over though.
Yep.
Those days are done. They're over with. Unless you've got a time machine and you can take us back to that place and point in time, it doesn't matter. It's not relevant. It doesn't matter what the rates were in the 70s. It doesn't matter what your parents bought their first house for. Those, to me, like when I see those posts, like, bless their hearts for putting them out there. And I'm not knocking anyone for putting that out there. But I don't like those because it's not an accurate comparison.
Right.
And what it does is it creates, in my opinion, a diminishing response from the end user, because now they're thinking about rate. Now they're thinking about rate. Ask someone what the rate is on their credit card. They won't be able to tell you. Ask them what the rate is on their vehicle. They won't be able to tell you. They'll be able to tell you what their monthly minimum payment on their credit card is.
Correct.
They'll be able to tell you how much they pay for their truck.
Yep.
You know, these are things that they'll know. So we make our vehicle purchases centered around that monthly payment and whether we can afford to drive it out the door or not. And normally when I tell the sales guy that my hard number is 500, it's really more like 800.
Right.
So people aren't thinking about that. And so what I've been really, really driving home to folks is our clients are going to have the same fears and concerns as us. They're going to have the same happy experiences as us. We really do get to decide what we expose people to. I'm personally not spending a lot of time talking to someone about where the rates are right now. We're talking about monthly payments.
Yeah.
Can you afford to take this home? Can you afford this home? Is this something that if the rate never changes, you're okay with?
Would you be okay?
You know, if you can see yourself paying this monthly payment for the next 10 years, then right now is a fantastic time to buy a home. Because again, everyone is using this now, but I said it like forever ago before I knew it would be a thing. You marry the home and you date the rate.
Yeah.
You know, the home is the place of permanence, whether that's a 5-year.
And in that case scenario, you can actually do them at the same time.
That's the thing.
Mind blown.
And, you know, but so many people right now, like I bought my house in 2000. It was either 18 or 19. I think it was 19 because my daughter was in limbo. So on her way. And, I mean, dude, I bought equity, you know, I didn't know what I was buying, but I purchased my home and the value of my home's gone up by almost $150,000. Now I don't tell my prospective buyers to be anticipating that because I think that, you know, between COVID and the way that everything happened as a result of all that, it created some artificial circumstances that led to where we are right now. But I think that, and I pray they don't drop rates too quickly, even though I want them to
I'm
go
right
back
there
down.
with you. Yes.
I think
we'll talk about that next.
If they do that, it's going to...
He said doo-doo.
But if they do, that is going to create a great circumstance for the people that have already purchased because now home values are going to start going back up again. There's the possibility that we may see, you know, the influx of cash buyers showing back up again, purchasing in over cash value.
Sure.
I would not want to be in that situation where I waited today and then purchase again. Because I know a lot of people that were in like 21, 22 were just kind of like, I don't know. I think I'm going to wait for the market to chill out. I'm going to wait for prices to come down. I'm going to wait for rates to drop. And now today, you know, the guy that was balking at an 8% rate, you know, a couple months ago is like, Matt, can you get me in? I saw the rates are down. down. It's like they're freaking fiends now for it because they've seen how bad it could be. And that's where, again, I circle right back to that point that as professionals, we should be focusing on affordability. Long-term, is this affordable long-term? Like if you never refinance this, if you never get yourself out of this note, will you be okay in 5 years?
Yeah.
If the answer to that is yes, the rate really becomes irrelevant outside of a pain point.
Yeah,
that's
I
all
agree.
it is like, oh, I fucked up. I should have done this 5 years ago. You know, that's like me thinking about any mistake I've made in the past and then letting that sour my experience now.
Absolutely.
It's like if I'm shopping for $100,000 house and I go and look at $500,000 house.
Yeah, you're never going to land on something that it is. Yeah, you're right. Now, there was something that, and I think I could put it on the screen here. Matter of fact, now I'm going to end up creating some content around this over the weekend. But I was looking up a property in the county appraisal, and I was researching the new tax laws that Texas passed, right? At Proposition 4, something like that, to where we are now getting a massive amount of discount in our property taxes. And I went to verify, my tax rate went from 2.2 to 1.85, saved me thousands of dollars, right? So when I went to bcad.org just to see other properties to see if they compared, I was surprised with something else. And I want to see if you guys noticed this. I'm going to go right here. And for the folks that are listening or tuning in, I'll probably put a little blurb over here on the side. I'm pulling up the County Appraisal District website, and I'm just going to type in a zip code. Give me a zip code.
78258.
78258.
That's mine.
Random zip code.
Done this yet.
Okay. Random zip code. I'm putting it in. And let's see here. What do you guys notice? That's just in the one little thing, but it's substantial in this too.
Are you talking about the LLCs?
I'm talking about the LLCs.
Yep. Wow. Yep.
Is that not crazy that I just typed in a random zip code? Okay, so I went down this rabbit hole, y'all. I went down this rabbit hole enough to determine that, holy cow, there are a ton of institutions or businesses or investors that are buying properties, and they don't give two shits about what the interest rate is.
They probably didn't even see the properties. They just saw it online, we'll take it.
Which is further telling me that if you are a consumer that's renting right now, from us mortgage professionals' perspective, it's showing us that someone else is going to convert this world to a renter's world. You may be a forever renter, and it's not even all institutions that are doing this. I'll be honest. The last several purchases that I've done were for folks that did not sell their home. They kept their home. We found a way to qualify with the property because they were converting it to an investment property and buying another one with zero fear at all. And what I'm seeing in that is these folks are going to be left behind. I mean, if you look at historic values in San Antonio, we don't go backwards. We haven't gone backwards. So the idea that if rates go down, I can now get in to a property, I don't know. It's kind of fugazi.
It's just going to make it more competitive. That's all it is. That's all it's going to do.
Right.
Well, and there's no way of really truly knowing what's going to happen right now. So it's you either gamble that you're going to remain a renter at 100% interest plus penalties and, fees when you leave that property and accelerating monthly payments.
Yeah.
Or you could hedge your bets at, right now, mid sixes and be okay with life. And hey, if things get better, awesome. And if home values do spike, cool.
Benefit.
And if they remain the same, but rates come down, there's still multiple avenues for a good purchase to occur in a market like this right now.
Absolutely.
Now, someone like me, I'm all right. I got a 2.5 rate on my house right now.
Right. You're not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
Or at least you're not selling that home.
Correct. No, everything that I purchased in the past was always designed with that intention of, hey, this house is going to be a rental house. When I decide to vacate this home, I'm just going to convert it and do that. So, that was already a part of my plan regardless. But there's a big category of people who bought in that time frame who really the only reason why they would move in a market in a climate like this would be geographical necessity. Job is relocating me somewhere else where it's no longer feasible to drive the distance or close that gap. Or someone that wants to buy an investment property.
Sure.
Because right now the investment market, it doesn't really matter what the rates are as long as the PITI can be obtained through the renter. And, you might not be able to make as much
Don't
profit
forget
as
the
you did
third
before,
one, the third one, procreation. We tend to continue to do that.
We do keep on doing that, and so there's, household sizes do increase, but I could even see a household size not necessarily being a humongous compelling factor in that situation where someone who bought their house for, $300,000 in 2019 would now have to spend $450,000 to obtain that exact same home with a higher monthly mortgage payment before we even consider the option of upgrading and going into the next category of home. So, I mean, we're talking pretty big payment shock, in my opinion, for a relatively minor upgrade in home product, you know? And so I think that as rates come down, we'll see lesser of that and less people being, landlocked is what I call it.
Absolutely.
I'm locked to my house by my rate right now. And I mean, the money's free. Why am I going to?
Good point. Good.
I can't, I don't have any avenues that will pay me the dividends that I've made off of my home purchase. And I really never even viewed it as an investment at first. But having obtained that knowledge now, that's how I'm centering my conversations with my clients. It's like, here's some personal experience that I've had in the very recent years here. It's very likely that the people that are purchasing a home right now will be saying the same things that we're talking about right now in 4 or 5 years to the tune of a higher sales price and a higher rate on the house, but the same circumstances occurring where they inherited all this extra equity because of when they entered into the market.
I have to agree with that. I really do. Well, let's talk about some funny shit now. So, we've got a CRM company that is promoting their memes. They're saying that it's absolutely imperative that we start using memes and social media content. 78% of salespeople who use mortgage social media market outperform their peers. It's a good reason for loan officers to get involved. Some tried and true strategies remain consistent when implemented. Building social media brand may be easier than you expect. Do you think it's easy to build a brand behind what you guys are doing? And for me, giving my 2 cents, I don't think it's easy.
No,
I don't. I think it's easy once you've already done it to look back and go, man, that was easy. But through the process of it, I think it is, I'm not going to say it's daunting or it's something that you can't obtain. I just think us as humans are back to inconsistency. And then the idea of where do I get the content from? So this company here is giving you content to be able to post. Let me see if I can get back to that.
I probably stole some of my shit.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Find some of my handcrafted memes on here.
That's what I'm thinking.
What did you steal?
Let's see.
Although half my memes are stolen, I just improved on them.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
Let's see if I can get to that. Boom.
We're good recyclers.
Yeah, it's exactly. I call it a real estate remix.
A rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that being the case, so this company here has got a ton of memes that you can use, pretty canned stuff. And some of it's
I used that like 8 years ago, the little kid one, and it was a clear to close meme too.
So when I was going through this before, I was going, man, this is stuff that we use when I first got into the business and I was trying to introduce myself to the jokes and that kind of stuff. And what you guys do is very creative, original, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is.
Would you agree?
Agreed. For my background, and I don't know if even you knew this, Mark.
I knew.
I used to write commercials.
I did know that, but you can say it again. Toot that horn, brother.
No, because when I see a picture, I did vitamin water. Let's see. You ever heard Smashburger? There used to be,
Smashburger.
I wrote Smashburger's very first national commercial. We got invited to Colorado to speak to their marketing people.
Sure.
And we had to pitch them.
And were they all stiff and no humor?
Yeah, it was just my cousin and myself, and we're like, that was our first time doing an actual pitch. There actually used to be a show called The Pitch. That was awesome.
I remember.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. But we were going up against companies like in LA and New York, like actual ad agencies. And it's just my cousin and I were like, what the? But we ended up getting it, because, they give you a creative brief and whatnot. So when I see like a picture, I'm like, okay, I can kind of figure this out pretty quick. Just write a couple words and whatnot. So it's one of those things like, this could actually be helpful for someone who is hesitant to post something to at least start somewhere. Because I guarantee when I started, I actually started using these, but I also realized that a lot of the stuff was just recycled. It was the same, everybody posting the same shit. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make my own crap. And I don't care who likes it or who doesn't. but we'll see how it goes.
And now that leads me to the next point or topic on this discussion, which has a lot to do with imitation. When you see someone, and I've seen it, I know you guys have seen it. Somebody uses your content, calls it their own.
Oh yeah.
You forgot to put your tag name or what have you on it, and even still, they've got technology to take it off anyway. Is that imitation, or do you see it as flattery?
I'm flattery all day long. All day long. Like, steal my shit.
Yeah.
Like, steal my shit, make it yours. You don't need to give me credit. I don't care. Like, if it's something original, if it's a concept I came up with, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter, because that person's target audience is not my target audience.
Agreed.
We may share target audiences. It may be a colleague of mine or somebody that, we're after the same relationship. Sure. I embrace that because I have a best man wins philosophy. You know, like, whoever's supposed to win is going to win. And one of the things that I've learned in the real estate business is the most successful cats in this game will always take a meeting with you. Mm-hmm. They will sit down and they will give you their detailed plan. They'll tell you, here's how I do it.
That's right.
Here's everything that I do. Here's why I do this. And they do that with the knowledge that 99% of the people that they share that with are not going to execute on even a tenth of what they're sharing.
That's correct.
And so the way I look at it is, that piece of information that I put out there was not for me.
Yeah.
It was for somebody else. When you're an artist or when you're a meme smith like myself, when you're doing that, I'm doing this for you. I'm not doing this for me. Like, I do get a little bit of the endorphins and the gratification of a viral post or something like that.
Yeah.
It's fun and all, but I did not make that meme, or I did not record that video, or I didn't see a video and then put that caption together because I felt like it's me and it's Matt Mazzacco's and I'm branding it and this is mine and I'm going to put a watermark on it so that everybody knows who came up with this awesome idea. It's like,
now, why?
I would rather see my content out there. What is the big
point as to why? I know that it flattery and all that good stuff, but I also know that there's a specific answer to this that both of you can probably agree to, and I'm not going to tell you why do you think it is, why you don't care, why you actually
feel like
see it as flattery
game here.
Because I'm not threatened by the person who's recycling and using my content whatsoever. I feel like I know what I bring to the table and it's sufficient. Competition isn't going to take that away.
I was talking and I completely.
I think it's because you guys are not done in the slightest, and you've got more content coming.
Oh yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And that's
it's not the one thing that made you successful. It's not the one post that put you on the map.
Yep.
It's the fact that that's what you do.
Oh yeah. And as far as like, even like, this is for like real estate agents and ULOs who are a little hesitant. If you come up with, you start creating content and you come up with an idea, if you don't have the time to do it, write it down real quick.
Oh yeah.
Write it
down.
God. My iPhone is
Siri,
the same
take
thing.
A note.
Yep.
My phone is full of
literally
notes. And that's why I constantly have
she's actually
material. There she goes.
Stop listening to me. Never mind.
I constantly have material like ready because I already know like maybe if I don't have something right at the gate that day, I can go to my notes, pick something up, and not even that. Like, if you posted something in the past, say like 2 years ago, and you don't have anything, that
recycle yourself.
Recycle it. It worked. Yeah. If it worked the first time, why not? You got it already.
Absolutely.
Ready to go.
I have been doing that for quite some time, and you know what? Nobody's called me out on it. Why? Because they probably didn't see it the first time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, and a lot of content creators won't get upset about it. Like, I've actually reached out to multiple mortgage folks and told them, like, hey, I wish I had jumped on the ball. I wish I had thought to get that video out there before you did. Now I kind of feel like I shouldn't do it because literally I'm going to say the same thing that you did, maybe a little better, but but I've been reluctant to do that. And every time I've asked them, they're like, yeah, dude, I found that from somebody else. Like, someone else was talking about it. I just had the idea. And that, again, you're a creator, man. You're creating your own thing.
Your own version of the same thing. And
because I didn't make the FHA mortgage insurance premium change, but just because you may have done a video on it doesn't mean that I can't do it now.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that I won't be able to bang the drum with a different sound than how you bang your drum. And I'm going to find my tribe. You're going to find your tribe. And everybody's going to freaking play in symphony with one another. And I think that's the other reason why, is because a viral video, that's probably why people are so hesitant to start, is because they recognize that their trip from here to a viral video is unknown. They don't know whether it's
how long will it take,
2, 3, or 4.
And you know
we're
what?
so instant gratification minded
That's
that if
the
you
issue
don't
right
get
there.
it on the first couple of things, you know, it's like when I first started going to open houses, for example. You know, I was just walking in, I'm like, God, it's going to be all brand new agents. Like, they're not going to have anything for me. There, you know, there's all these things in my head. And while there's some of that dynamic that occurs, I ran into some really high caliber people that I have relationships with now in what I considered to be an unlikely place. And so to anyone that's not making content right now, I would say it doesn't matter whether you whip your phone out right now and do a 15-second video, do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. And it doesn't matter if it sucks. Like, yes, the internet is forever. It will be there forever.
Right.
But you know what? People aren't going to go and seek out your mistakes. You know, it's just like with cold calling. I used to put on classes for people and I'm like, why do you care what the person on the other side of the phone thinks about you? Who cares? I will purposely call. I'm going to purposely screw up this phone call. And then I'm going to call them next week. And I promise you, they will not remember talking to me. And I will do like ridiculously embarrassing blunders to illustrate the fact that these people just don't care.
To drive that point home.
What you think is an insecurity, what you think is something that is so embarrassing is something that everyone is probably going to just breeze over and not even notice. You know?
No, you're right.
Know, like everyone thinks that their little insecurities or their little flaws are like this big piece of spinach just stuck in your teeth and you're going like this, you know? Like,
next time, put an arrow pointing to it in your video.
But seriously, if you happen to be recording some content and you notice that you freaking got salad in your teeth after you got done editing and putting the subtitles and everything,
use it.
Freaking stop the video. Put a big ass circle around it and be like, boing. This was when I realized that I had spinach in my teeth, you know? Like,
and you'll see that too. They like the bloopers.
So many people, like so many content creators that I see, they do that. They'll like do like, you know, when I had my YouTube channel, I would always like go through and I would find some of my biggest goof ups. And they were like little Easter eggs. I'd actually drop like a little, like, oh, son of a bitch, when I get up and slam something down, or I'm just like, oh, I can't believe I did that, you know? And so at the end of my video, it would be me doing that. And then boom, you know? And
now, back to your point, accentuating your flaws. Why? Because it leads to more human behavior. It shows that you are just like them. It happens, you know. That doesn't mean that the content is unusable. It almost makes the content better.
I mean, that's how Kim Kardashian cause it was all as well. Okay, I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about both ways, but it's always been organic from her, and it was she's one of her fans, and they appreciate that.
And next topic is Pamela Anderson. And
hello, Tommy.
Oh my gosh, we could cut up all day. So that being the case, I've seen throughout the years of the concept of converting haters to fans. Do you guys have anything to talk about regarding that topic? Because I'm sure that you've seen it, and it's not something that you call them out on. It's just something that you go, all right, almost motivation, in my opinion.
I never, as soon as they're a hater, I consider them a fan immediately. I'm just like, well, okay, you're following me. Like, you know what I mean?
You may not like me, but you're a fan of mine.
That's right. Already. So it's one of those things where it's going to happen. And no matter how terrible or how great your content is, they're already going to have this image of like where they're just jealous or they hate or they don't like you for some reason. So I've always dealt with that. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm just going to keep doing it.
Does that mean that I'm a fan of CNN because I just like to see how the other side thinks?
Man, you got to be careful going down that rabbit hole, man. Like after 3 or 4 hours, this like little black thing starts spinning in the middle, and all of a sudden you just
all of a sudden
orange man.
You start getting Trump comments in your windows.
Here
they come.
So before we wrap up, we've got one more topic to talk about, but I want to give you guys the platform to be able to give any kind of tips in regards to social media content, where you get your inspiration from for your content, and maybe some tips that realtors, lenders, anybody out there, because like you mentioned, this show is intended to have great discussions with experts in the field and to be transparent, because like you said, if you do speak to somebody that is successful, they're more than willing to tell you how they did it and how they're doing it and what their plan is to move forward.
Yep.
Why? Because they're making it so damn hard. I dare you to try and attempt it, but not only is it a dare, but here's the playbook, right? What would you guys give in way of advice for that?
I would just say that you got to, if you're not doing it already, you just got to start somewhere. There's also, and do a little research too. I mean, not only that, go to these big meme accounts. Go look at what they're posting and what's working.
Yeah,
and you'll see that. Maybe you can switch it up, put your own voice in there, something about the industry, and already you got some content right there.
Right.
But like I said, you just got to start somewhere. I don't know how else to say. Just don't be hesitant. You know?
Well, and don't do it trying to think that you're going to become this overnight success.
Right.
And don't compare yourself to other creators that are out there in this moment right now. Because, like, I look at a guy, Austin Elder, for example.
Sure.
Like, dude,
Austin,
he's
I love
freaking
his
awesome, man. Like, his content is fire. His short game is just
I agree.
magic. And he's actually one of the people that I reached out to when I was thinking about, like, okay, I'm going to do some rebranding. And I'll be able to answer your question regarding is branding hard by the end of next year. Because that's literally the focus of my 24 marketing objectives.
Rebranding. I'm putting that right here. We're going to circle back.
Yeah. And so it's, that's a big thing. I'm relatively confident I'll be able to handle it with ease because I have a very specific plan in place. And this doesn't scare me. I don't, being in the public does not scare me. You put me in front of 5,000 people, I'll get up there and I'll razzle dazzle. I'm not afraid of people because I'm being honest with the people, like that's the thing. Like, we're all humans. We're all flawed. We're all going to make mistakes. Your video may not be a banger. You may not get 5 billion views on it, but not every one of them is. And every single viral big shot content creator, if you go to like their Facebook page, for example, where you can see all the reels.
Sure.
Well, you'll see one that has like 1 million views, and then you'll see 500 that have less than 50 views.
Absolutely.
There's and that's where, going back to what you talked about, is consistency is, in my opinion, equally, if not more important than content.
Yeah.
Because you could do an amazing job inconsistently and it's never going to resonate, or you could do a mediocre job consistently and you're going to be known, you're going to have that presence. You may not be well known for being the best or being this or being that, but you're known. And so you got to just start.
Yeah.
That was my biggest point of struggle was, oh God, I see all these people, they're doing these big things, and how am I going to start off? I only got a phone. I don't know, even just looking at your studio here, for example, like if I wasn't who I was, I could potentially be intimidated by this. Like, God, how could I ever get to the point where I've got 3 cameras and I've got multiple mic setups and I've got a guy that's doing this, and it can be intimidating.
You fail a shit ton really fast.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And that's where,
I mean, matter of fact, Eric was on one of the podcast episodes when I was first starting and we were using cell phones as our cameras.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
It didn't matter.
But that's the thing, is that start with what you got and improve upon it along the way,
Don't think that's a great point. Don't think that you have to have all the fancy shit to get started.
You don't. All you need is yourself, your drive, your vision, and your mission. Like, those are the things
and
that will take you there. And your phone. Yeah. I mean, literally, if you have an iPhone or an Android that's post 2020, you've got a professional, high quality, high definition recording device here. And I don't care what anybody says. I've seen people take listing photographs with an iPhone that are freaking, that I would pay for.
Matter of fact, that house that we did an open house for last weekend, I went around and took pictures of the property, and they're now using them for the MLS photos because the cameras are
fantastic. Like, think about these cameras that are posted up here and how far along that tech has come, like in our pockets, we hold a camera system that is more sophisticated than a $10,000 camera would have been in the 90s. So is it the same level of awesomeness that a $10,000 camera today is going to perform?
Probably not.
But it's going to be, I mean, I've seen multiple corporate videos that have been shot with iPhones, like even iPhone's commercials where they do these fantastic shot with an iPhone. You have what it takes. You may not have the funding to be able to buy all the stuff that you want to do, but the content is what gets you out there.
Right.
And then as you do it, you get better at it. The one thing I will say, and this would be advice, don't fake it till you make it.
Okay.
Don't fake it till you make it. Be real, be honest, be sincere. Like, I've found that faking it till I make it made me very transactional, and it was very difficult for me to procure the relationships necessary for longevity in this industry.
Right.
And when I finally stopped doing that and I just started to admit and be sincere and honest, all of a sudden the relationships kind of just, they really actually happened.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It was no longer a transactional situation where I'm trying to impress somebody or I'm trying to not let them know where I may be at in my particular walk. It was like, hey, listen, Mark, thank you. That was a great question. I don't know the correct answer to that, but give me an hour, give me 2 hours. Let me go do my homework and make sure that I get you the right answer. Because while I would love to tell you that I'm expert enough to have the answer to that question off the top of my head, I want to make sure I get you the right answer.
And I love that.
Here's the correct, give me time to properly do that instead of just misinforming you and feeling better about myself and feeding my own ego.
And most people can see right out of the gate if they're like, if you're full of shit or not.
Well, that's the worst part. That's the worst part, because then you do have spinach in your teeth and nobody's telling you about it. And everyone's like walking around all freaking goofy smiled like. So
they can tell, like just with real estate agents, and you're like, come on. There's no. Even with our buyers, like, let me see that fee sheet. That's bullshit. It's like,
you're not fooling me. Like,
it's exactly correct. And I think that one of the things that stands out the most in what you're saying there is that honesty piece of setting those expectations. And if you reach out to me for an answer, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yep.
If I don't know, I'm going to let you know that I don't know, but I will tell you I've got resources so I can find the right answer. And then I'll set the expectation to get back to you by X time.
Yep. And then you just make good on it.
Correct.
That's right.
And then the other thing that I think you're basically saying, both of you, and it's something that someone once told me, I don't remember when, but he mentioned it. I said, hey, that was a good post. Do you mind if I use it?
Yeah.
And he said, hey, if you stole it from me, you stole it twice. Meaning he had already lifted it from someone else.
Yeah, I just mix it up a little bit. That's how it gets up. It's the easiest way to do it.
But that's the thing. Like, unless you're actually plagiarizing someone's stuff, like I talked to Austin about that because I was like, man, you've done a couple videos that I was like pissed off when I saw it because I wanted to touch on that. Like, I wanted to be the one that broke that. And he's like, well, why don't you just do it?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah,
you'd be cool with that, man? He's like, dude, our audiences are
He's like, I won't even see it, bro.
Well, but that's the thing. I mean, I think it's, as lenders, we start to think like, oh, I got to find this. I got to find more. I got to find more. And, another shout out to Megan Cloud, who's someone we've actually had that situation where Megan, flattered me by sharing something that I had put out there. And when I was younger in the business, I was a little bit more on the competitive side. So I was like, oh, look at that. She's biting my shit, and, and I put just like a little jabbing kind of post on social media and said, don't get it clouded. And, but Megan
she didn't block you?
No, she took it and she ran with it, bro. And she made it a thing. And her realtors were making fun of me posting the hashtag don't get it clouded.
She blocked me, man. She blocked,
no kidding.
Same concept happened. She blocked me. Yeah, well, I'm still friends with her entire team. Yeah. And when I see her in person, matter of fact, I ran into her recently at the Masterminds in February, March of this year in Vegas. We had a good time. So, and there's actually one last question, and it's a super quick question before we get into this last topic that I'm sure people are dying to fucking hear. What is too far? What do you believe? Because there's always that line of what's too funny, not funny enough, to that. What's that line?
For me personally, I've been known to
push the line.
4 steps over the line, maybe.
Yeah,
once or twice.
I kind of honestly, I stay away from. Well, I can't say I stay away from religion because I use Jesus in some of my stuff, but politics, I try my best to stay out of.
Yeah.
But it almost doesn't matter. Sometimes you're going to post something and I made jokes about androids, and I was like, I think I said, you're not a bad real estate agent. Your client just had an android. And oh my God, it just created this huge debate on that big real estate mastermind group. I think I made a meme one time and this is politics.
Yeah.
When Biden was running, when he was first running, I put, if you're not, what did I put? Oh, I can't even think of it. If you're renting right now, let me know when you're ready to Biden. So I had a picture of him, right? And I posted that. Oh my God. So it was bad. I couldn't believe it.
One reason why I stay away from politics when I post, especially funny, is for some odd reason, I feel like it gets suppressed, to be honest. I I thought it was genius.
Like
I
the
posted
shadow
some.
bands.
Yeah, I posted something super genius not too long ago when I was watching the presidential address, and he said the folks woke up dead. And
I saw that. That was good. I
instantly remembered, like,
That's
okay,
right. You had the Biden in there
from Scary Movie when he said, "How the hell are you going to wake up dead?"
I was cracking up on that one.
I posted on social Facebook, nothing. YouTube blew up.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Some folks for different strokes or something like that. It's backwards. But yeah, I mean, I think that staying away from politics is a pretty good idea, but we're going to go down that road for a moment.
Let's do it.
So folks out there,
Nice
I know
segue.
you are probably wondering what happened, what took place. I'll be honest, I haven't even talked to Matt about it.
I haven't talked to either one of y'all about
Asked if I could bring it up. He said, hell yeah, let's talk about it. I'm a transparent guy, and at the end of the day, it is what it is and what it was. So Matt, tell us about your experience. And for those that don't know what the hell I'm about to talk about, January 6th, I believe, was the day.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of folks that were apprehended by the law. We won't get into details of what you think and why and all that BS. I don't want to go down those roads.
Yep.
I'd rather say surface level, informing the folks of your experience personally, because that's all you can give at this point, right?
So, I attended the protests at the United States Capitol on January 6th, and I was one of the people that ended up making my way inside there. While I was inside the building, I was recorded stopping someone from ripping stuff off of the wall and discouraging another individual that I saw that was like stealing stuff.
Right.
And so, got caught up in the whirlwind of the day and the emotions and everything. It wasn't necessarily the best judgment that I'd applied in my life, but I went standing up for something that I believe in, and
Sure.
it is what it is. My choices that day, unfortunately, did lead to some consequences. So I was arrested. I had my house raided and all of that good stuff. The hardest part about the whole thing was that, it's an interesting topic that we're having here because
Sure.
so much of it plays into it,
Yeah.
especially in regards to the haters and the fans. And
Absolutely. And then the rebranding piece, I love it.
correct. And so, after the circumstance, it was kind of weird because when you sit down and you see a piece of paper that says the United States government versus, and then it's your name right there, it's a very, it's a surreal feeling, and so going through all of that, there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of just, it was tough, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and pretend like I'm some Billy badass that just, took it like how Trump's taken what he's going through right now.
Sure.
I mean, his demeanor is just, maybe it's the billions of dollars that he knows, like, hey, this isn't going to financially ruin me. This isn't going to destroy me, but I might potentially go to jail for the rest of my life. But, the uncertainty of not knowing what was going to happen, because even though my actions that day were vastly different than some of the other folks that were there that actually got some more serious charges, the charges that they had levied against me were significant.
Mm-hmm.
They were 4 federal misdemeanors, and facing that down was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life.
I can only imagine.
And
Yep.
not knowing, are they going to pursue accelerated charges against me and try to charge me with some felony level
Mm-hmm.
stuff that would now prevent me from sitting at this table having this conversation
Absolutely.
with you guys. And so that was difficult. And then obviously going to jail wasn't fun. I mean, it's not meant to be a good time, folks, I promise
Right.
you. And the thing that kind of, I guess, irks me about some folks is that, yes, I did make a mistake that day, and I had to face my actions. I had to face the penalties and the consequences for them. I had to do what I was ordered to by the courts and by the systems, and now I am out a free man. I've satisfied all the requirements of me. I have done what is necessary, but there's a lot of folks out there that hate me. There's a lot of folks out there that are going to watch this video that are going to have their blood boiling by
While
seeing
you're
my
speaking.
face
That's exactly
here.
right.
And to them, I say, let that blood boil. I hope my existence and my persistence drives you insane.
Yeah.
I hope that you lose sleep at night because I'm still here and I'm still smiling. I hope that you really just, I hope that it irritates you. Like, I want to be that irritant in your
That's right.
life because, first of all the people that that hate me for my decisions that day don't know me.
Right.
They don't know what was in my heart. They don't know why I went. They don't even know what I did while I was there.
Absolutely.
You know, all they know is that they have taken information that they have received from
media.
And the media is just awful these days. You know, you can find more truth in independent journalism in a podcast like this than you could on any of the major media outlets, Fox News included. They're all garbage, you know? And so it's been tough, you know, because I am a genuinely pretty well-natured person. You know, if you were to ever call me and ask me for help, if I had the capacity to do it, I'm likely to respond, hey, yeah, let me help you out, you know. And so having people say such mean and hurtful things, especially industry colleagues and everything else, you know, it's like, I had friends of mine that are real estate agents, title, and all different people reaching out to me like, man, you know, you should just see the things that people are saying about you. And I was like, well, you know, that's theirs to say, and it's their opinion. They're free to their opinions. And I think it's really unfortunate that our climate has become so just absolutely devastated by, if you don't think exactly like me, then I want to see you burn. Like it's not even I want to see you canceled. I don't want to hear it. I'm not, it's tuning out isn't an option. I want to see you die because of your disagreement with me. And I think that that's indicative of a society who has become so misinformed, yet they think that they are informed because of the ease of access to information.
I agree.
That there's no tolerance for anybody that differs in behavioral modalities or thoughts or principles. And I think that's really unfortunate, because one of the things that I think makes us and our collaboration together in the human species so awesome is our differences. You know, if everyone thought the same way, it would just be so boring.
I agree.
You know, there would be no joy, there would be no fun, there would, you know, we wouldn't have the anger, and there would be, you know, there's some solution in that. But I think that overall we're meant to be different so that we can really truly find that like hidden spice in life.
Yeah, learn
like,
and grow.
you know,
I'm a huge advocate for conflict being a good thing when you find resolution.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned this maybe once every other show, but the concept is you're growing, you're learning, you're finding differences and seeing how we both can learn from each other. Not a single one of us are the same in what we do, but yet we kind of do the same thing.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a similar dance, but we all have different moves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and you can mimic moves to some extent, but we are who we are. And, you know, unfortunately, people have lost sight of that. And I just, you know, I've recently, you know, redeveloped my faith in God. And, you know, that's really been a big part of me feeling comfortable and confident coming out and just discussing things in a transparent manner, because, you know, that's a really important relationship. And I recognize that the closer you get to God, the more the devil's going to come for you.
It's true.
And so it's taken a lot of faith for me to just say, hey, God, look, man, whatever it is that you have planned for me, please help me walk as best as I can in this path. Help me to come back from some of these misperceptions, you know, because again, I wish I could say I didn't care, but I do care, bro.
Absolutely.
Like I do. Like when someone says something about me that's not true, like it sucks.
Hurts.
Like it does hurt, you know, and I can try and pretend like it doesn't. It's funny because after I watched JJ Garena on your show a couple weeks ago, I reached out to him and we had a conversation very similar to this. And I was sharing with him, I was just like, man, you know, like I wish I could be the person that they're saying that I am, because then I wouldn't care, and it wouldn't matter, you know. But regardless of that, you know, life will throw you things, and sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's not. But, you know, my motivation moving forward is to show people that no matter how bad life gets, you can still get back up and get back on the horse.
And it also goes to show that the good Lord does not give you more than you can handle.
Without a doubt.
That shows you your limits. And even when you get to those limits, he'll throw more on you to help you grow past that limit.
Well, when he's doing that to you, it's because you didn't listen to what he was trying to tell you before.
So.
And so he's like, look, you know, I will allow you to persist. You know, what they say, whenever the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And it's because the teacher was always there. You just weren't ready to listen to what the teacher had to say. And so
And that's probably why Eric Delgado got stabbed by his ex-girlfriend. I had to go there.
Hey, he had some drama too.
I had to.
Are we like we want to compare scars now?
No way. No,
what's funny,
you don't even have to add to that.
No, I won't. But the when you brought up January 6th earlier, and I was like, what the hell is January 6th? Because that's how I know we haven't talked about this yet. I was like, January 6th. I was like, is the Fed meeting early? Or what is going on? What January 6th?
That's funny. Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming on the show and being transparent, showing your true selves. As much as people believe that facade that they see is a fake thing, you're real people.
Yeah.
And both of you have great intentions in what you do. It's obvious after speaking with you, but if you have an onlooker that is a hater at a certain level, they're only going to see that surface level. And in my opinion, those are just folks that aren't intended to do business with us. At the end of the day, you can't do business with everybody anyway. So why not find your tribe? And be you. Be you to the extreme that you can be, because I promise you there are others out there that are looking for that. You're going to draw those folks to you and then turn it into something amazing. And then you're going to fast forward and then you're going to look back and go, damn, okay, it feels good to be a gangster.
Yep. Absolutely.
But yeah, anything else you guys want to add before we close it out?
I am not a crook.
Matt, I think that I hope that feels good, getting that stuff off your chest. This is going to go out to a lot of folks, and hopefully that will help your rebranding, because I've always respected you and I will continue to, even more so after having this conversation and getting to kind of peel back some of that, some of the layers, you know?
Well, I'm happy to talk. I mean, I've always told people I'm a human being. I make mistakes from time to time. And if you can't take ownership for your mistakes, you're never going to become the best version of yourself that you can become. So sometimes you got to just put your hand on the stove and deal with the scar that comes with it, Well,
me as a mentor leader in my position, folks that are not learning from their mistakes, I call them stupid, to be honest, because at the end of the day, we're going to make mistakes. Every day I fail multiple times in a day, but if I'm not learning from those mistakes, then I myself am stupid. And that's just one of those things that we all have the capability of doing it if that is your intent. If you're just going through this world, bat out of hell, wheels loose, hey man, that's on you.
Good luck.
Good luck. That's exactly right. So everything that I believe that you guys do is very intentional, very consistent. Keep it up, because this business being as you saw, stressful, almost as a divorce, needs humor in it. It definitely does. Let's continue to break the ice. Let's continue to add the humanity to what we do as professionals.
And like, don't just take anybody's opinions and you're like, oh, maybe I should stop doing this. Maybe I don't like it. My family says this. No.
Keep being you.
Absolutely.
Be you, and be the version of you want to be.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with taking feedback from other people.
Never.
Especially,
Never.
that's a very powerful thing. But at the end of the day, you've got to decide where your line is and what you're willing to do. Because, in my opinion, some of the best comedians in the world said some pretty
absolutely.
And my opinion towards comedy is like the more offensive the better. I don't care what the topic is. I am go as dark as you can possibly, try to offend me. When it comes to humor. Not everyone is cut for that though, man. Especially today in this modern society. I in fact, one of those shower thoughts that I was having is, are we at risk for seeing humor go away? For seeing humor be made illegal.
Correct.
For seeing humor be something that, because really, I mean, it's getting to the point to where people are walking on eggshells for a plethora of topics, and it's like the world has become just victimized. Everyone is a victim, and everyone is competing for this I'm the most victimized status. And so it's like, is it going to get to a point to where we can't be funny anymore? And like guys like you and me, or the three of us, are going to end up like in a freaking concentration camp somewhere. Like, you made fun of the God Emperor. How dare you?
Or we're gonna have humor settings like an Interstellar.
Seriously, like they're gonna come and like inject something in your neck, like turn it down to like 60% there, buddy.
That's what I told even my newer agents and whatnot who are asking me, hey, what do you think? This is good. This is good. But I'm like, just do it. And then if people start hating on you for some reason, just let them hate while you create. That's what I always am.
Absolutely. So I will cap this off with the following message. I believe that summing up this episode is something that is not going to be difficult at all. I believe that we as professionals, whether you're on the real estate side, the mortgage side of things, you've got to continue to find ways to get yourself out there. And one of the best ways to do it, most efficient ways, least amount of money, least amount of effort, is to pick up your phone, hit record, and give some content. Whether that content is kind of funny, super funny, or it just completely bombs. Doesn't matter. Keep it consistent. I believe that it is okay to use other people's content as long as you're mixing your own into it. I definitely believe that it's okay to ask for feedback, but it's super important that you understand whose feedback matters and whose doesn't. The best thing I can tell you is, at first, don't worry about what people think. If you're able to display the humor that you have and what you think is funny, that's the best way to find your tribe.
Yep.
I don't think there's much else that I could say other than thank you guys for being on this episode.
Thank you for having us.
The transparency. We're looking forward to continuing to see the content that keeps us going in this industry, because it's not always easy what we do. So that being the case, guys, we will catch you on the next one.